My name is Lindi Kirwin, and I work at Vernon Studios in Stockport. I've had a lot of background in mixed media, so for me to be given the opportunity to paint with jams and products that I've never ever used before, it just was really curious. I was dying to get in, and here's the tool that I did it with. It's really, really nice to use the products because they're spreadable, they're lumpy, they're shiny, they've got a bit of everything. They taste nice as well because I actually tasted them. But to have that buzz off a company to know that I could execute what they were desiring for raising money for a fantastic cause, I liked that challenge. Took lots of photographs and changed them in Photoshop. And if I can show you this one. This actually is how I would tweak the colours to make them look jam-like, because all the colours through the pots are so vibrant in colour that I was curious to think, well, how can I make this particular painting that I've finished now, which is the library, Central Library, a quirky colour in jam colours. It's a light white building, and in order to do that I had to tweak with the Photoshop to make it work, and I was blown away because it did. And it works really well. These are some of my samples that I did, which were very thinly put together. If you can imagine spreading your jam, and it loses its depth of colour because it's spread thinly. In order to get the vibrancy of the jam to look like it is through the pot, that's when I thought I've got to have an underlay of ink or paint. I actually chose to use acrylic ink because it sits well on the canvas, it sits well with the jams, it just worked. I did actually do quite a few samples, and that was the best result I had. But I did really enjoy using this trowel. This is the only thing that I used but under my fingers, and the first thing I did was to spread the tartar sauce on the sky. And literally, like a builder would palette knife across with plaster, that's exactly what I did with the tartar sauce. And then I'd go ahead and maybe a thin coat of raspberry to make the building flat. But then when it comes to the edge of the building, build up with the spatula on the side so that it has a ridge. I've just enjoyed the whole process, to be perfectly honest with you. And I really, really like using the marmalade apples because you can lay those on by hand, and it's just got a really nice feeling. The challenging bit of this process for me was hoping that it would all stay where it was going to sit, and it did. And I actually, when I worked on the edge of the canvas there, I was thinking it might slide off because it was really quite runny. And then when that started to dry quite well, I knew then that I had the strength of that jam to put another jam on the top to give it some more depth and height. So it's actually, if you hold it on the side, you can actually see the canvas with the jams have got different height levels. The berries are fantastic. For example, I'd get my hand inside the sink and get rid of all the juice or all the jelly off the jam so I could get more and more berries onto the work. And sticking those on by hand was really, really nice. And they're sitting really well. They sit really firmly. I have 3 children, and my eldest child, Andy, he still has an extra set of kidneys and extra set of ureters, still functioning as 4 when we should only have 2. And when he was 2 years old, he actually had failing kidneys. He was in Booth Hall for quite a long time, a good month at least, and I was with him in all that time. And I was just made to feel so at home there. The care that they gave my son was terrific, and they saved his life basically, reimplanting his ureters into the correct positions, because it was the fact that those were in the wrong places that made things awry for him. And they just do some really good work, and this is my way of saying thank you, paying them back.